Hey everyone, another book haul. This time I'm going through everything that I bought in May. Starting off with the standards, so this kind of stuff that everyone has. I've got a Dean Koontz thriller, Breathless. I've got The Stand by Stephen King. Now this is the shorter version, and I also do have the longer version around. I would be interested to know, do people generally read the short version or the long version? I have Cell. I've heard this is one of his not so good ones. And I have You Like It Darker, which just came out fairly recently. All right, I have a couple of classics. We Have Always Lived in the Castle by Shirley Jackson. Dracula by Bram Stoker. This is a really cool Easy Eye version. But there's just one problem, which is unfortunately the cover's completely fallen off. So at some point I'm going to have to glue that back together, because otherwise that's really nice. Book of the Dead by John Tiggs. The Curse by John Tiggs. Once Said, Twice Dead. The Hoongan by J.N. Williamson. The Longest Night by J.N. Williamson. The Ladies of the Evening Will Never See the Dawn. Sounds good. Worst Enemies by Jack Scaparo. This next one I was really excited about. Slugs by Sean Hudson. I found this just at my local secondhand charity shop for $2, which is crazy. I've already read this, it was great. Very much like The Rats. And they're mentioning James Herbert right there. So the structure of it is almost exactly like The Rats. The Entity by Frank De Felitta. The ultimate novel of supernatural terror and sexual horror. Robert James, Blood Mist. Stephen Gallagher, Nightmare with Angel. I think this one might be more like a psychological thriller, but Stephen Gallagher is well known for his horror, so I thought I'd pick it up. Diane Guest, Forbidden Garden. This one has step back art. I'm assuming this is very VC Andrews-ish. Kind of looks like that. Prank Night by David Robbins. Dying is no trick or treat. So this is set around Halloween by the looks of it. Looks cool. The Force by J. Edward Ames. Torture Tomb by C. Dean Anderson. The font on this looks great. Looks very 90s death metal. Graham Masterton, The Doorkeepers. The Late Show by John Douglas. That's a great cover. It's an all-night movie horror show, but this time it's for real. Just from the cover, it looks very young adult-ish. Looks cool. It looks cheesy, really. Talking of young adults, got R.L. Stine, Bad Dreams. Now I see Goosebumps stuff around all the time, and I don't really want to buy that. But I did say that if I saw any Fear Street or maybe Point Horror stuff, I would buy it. So I've got Bad Dreams. Last of the horror books. It's a giant book of vampires, edited by Stephen Jones. Let's see who's in this. Looks like some big names. Clive Barker, Brian Lumley. Brian Stableford, I know, is more of a sci-fi guy. Ramsey Campbell, Robert Bloch, Edgar Allan Poe. Hugh B. Cave. Yeah. A lot of big names in here, and names that I want to check out. So this looks good. Cool. Okay, next up, I have a pile of science fiction and fantasy. Clifford D. Simak, City. I've heard this one's great. E. Doc Smith, Lord Tedric, the Black Knight of the Iron Sphere. Doc Smith is supposed to be really pulpy science fiction, but I think this one's not actually even written by Doc Smith. I'm not too sure. The Empire Strikes Back by Donald F. Glutt. The Star Dwellers by James Blish. One Against the Legion by Jack Williamson. Number 3 in a series. So I guess I've got to try to find the rest. Although it says it's self-contained there, so presumably I don't really have to read the other ones. Isaac Asimov, Foundation. Isaac Asimov, Nemesis. Getting into more like fantasy type stuff now. The King is a Witch, Evelyn Eaton. Now, I've never heard of this, but the Dennis Wheatley Library of the Occult caught my eye. Yeah. Might have to cover up this cover a little bit. Vivia by Kenneth Lee. I don't know how the YouTube censorship stuff works. Better just to cover it up. Okay, I see this author all the time, and I rarely pick up her stuff, but this looked too cool, so I had to have this one. Halloween Party by Agatha Christie. I have read one Agatha Christie book, and it was fine, but it was also not really my kind of thing. But we'll definitely give her another chance. Mysterious Railway Stories, edited by William Patrick. It says also available Macabre Railway Stories. Now, I wish I got that one, but this looks cool too. And it had a couple of authors that I was particularly interested in. Yeah, Frederick Brown, Robert Bloch, August Derleth. I saw those and I thought I better get this. Okay, onto action and spy looking stuff. Desert Command by Joe Ballum. I was hoping this would be like a men's adventure type thing. Yeah, never heard of it before. The cover's cool though. The Spy Who Loved Me by Ian Fleming. And there he is. Assignment Bangkok by Edward S. Ahrens. Will B. Ahrens. Assignment Death Ship. So I think what happened here is Edward S. Ahrens died, and his brother continued the series for a few novels, or maybe a handful of novels. But I think he wasn't actually writing any of them. There was ghost writers who would do it for him. That cover is excellent. That's great. Sam Durrell in a one-man war against an invisible enemy. His assignment: stop the biological blackmail before it brings the entire United States to its knees. Sounds good. The Man from U.N.C.L.E., The Thinking Machine Affair. I've never seen this TV show, but just kind of had to have it. A Dynamic Adventure by Joel Bernard. I don't know anything about this one. It's The Lime Pit by Jonathan Valin. It sounded sleazy. She was just a runaway teenage hooker with one chance at the limelight in a film rated X for snuff. That sounds rough. Yeah. We've got a few westerns. Shotgun Sharky by Marshall Grover, which is a Larry and Stretch novel. This guy's an Australian author who wrote hundreds of short books about Larry and Stretch. So it's a long-running series. Now, when I was out thrift shopping, there was this book in a pile, and the thrift store has a 5 books for $1 deal. So of course I went back to get 4 more books that I didn't especially want. So here we go. It's Cameron Judd, Corrigan. Gary McCarthy, Powder River. John D. Nesbitt, Coyote Trail. And The River by Stephen Bauer, which is a novelization for a movie I've never heard of before. But it does have Sissy Spacek, who I quite like. Yeah, so really I just want that Marshall Grover book. These other ones I'll probably donate myself. So, yeah. I'll think about it, but I'm probably just keeping this one, and the rest I can pass on. Okay, last couple books. We've got the novelization of Dallas, the first season, I think, by Lee Raintree. And I've got a Graham Masterton omnibus of Corroboree and Empress. All right, that's it. Thanks for watching, and I'll be back soon with another book haul. All right, see ya.